What would happen if more people knew about these discoveries regarding the changing brain? When our view of the brain changes, exciting things start to shift. To end this lesson, let's consider 3 examples. This was the focus of Jacob's dissertation research, so we'll be hearing from him. The first shift that can happen is with our sense of identity. As we begin to see the brain in a new light, individuals facing these problems may come to see themselves differently as well.
If you count on your fingers right now the 10 people you know who struggle in some way with emotional or mental challenge, ask yourself, are these people individuals that have obvious deficiency in who they are? Is it obvious that these are really defective people? When I do that, when I look at all the people in my family and my friends who struggle emotionally, they are some of the deepest, most sensitive, most intense individuals that I know. People who can sit with you and really connect. And they struggle with depression, or panic attacks, or hearing voices. And so there's something there that doesn't add up. There's some research out there that suggests people who struggle with serious mental or emotional problems do so in part because they have a depth of emotion to them, a sensitivity of thought and heart that is unusual. So you have to have emotional capacity in order to hurt emotionally. You have to have mental sensitivity in order to be tormented by thought. A simple way of saying it is Homer Simpson doesn't get depressed.
The idea that the brain can change, then, can influence how individuals facing these challenges think about themselves, opening up the possibility that they aren't fundamentally broken inside. A second consequence of brain changeability involves how we understand the origin of mental and emotional problems. We could even ask the question, if not just from internal dysfunction, then where do these problems come from?
My sister struggles with anorexia, bulimia, and depression. And she is one of the most sensitive, most spiritual, most loving individuals I've ever known. So all of this just begs the question, if someone isn't messed up who struggles, if it's not someone's inherent pathology, then what's going on? There are researchers at Clark University and University of Washington who have argued that we are living currently in a depressogenic society, a society that is giving birth to depression, like a little petri dish where you get the conditions just right to get us to a place where we're just sitting ducks for something like depression.
Among other things, then, this new view of the brain can also impact how we approach emotional and mental disorders. Rather than focusing exclusively on searching for internal flaws or deficits behind emotional pain, what about also looking more broadly for explanations and answers in the world around us?
If we think about mental and emotional problems as rooted inside of us, then it's natural that we're going to intervene to try to correct and fix individuals. But if we think about mental and emotional challenges as connected to the world around us, then our interventions are going to end up looking more like public health interventions, where we figured out in the 19th century that, wow, if we clean up the water and give people food to eat and vaccinate and do these preventative things, all of a sudden we're eradicating diseases. We're having huge life-saving benefits. Where are the public health interventions for depression? Where are the public health interventions to do a society-level educational campaign for eating disorders? So there's a lot of potential. If we rethink of where these problems are coming from, it's going to lead us to a whole whole nother set of solutions, a whole nother approach to intervention that we really haven't tried very extensively. And it's exciting. It's like, what could happen?
Finally, let's consider what these brain discoveries mean for recovery itself. One researcher concluded, the belief that one can recover from mental illness is well established as an important aspect of the healing experience. He continues, over and over again, we heard in our interviews with distressed individuals, I needed someone to believe in me. This researcher continues, the most important finding in our research is that people who have shown significant or complete recovery from severe mental illness have cited hope as an extraordinarily important component in their recovery. Part of the recovery was being around people who saw their condition as not permanent, a condition from which they could take increasing control of their life and reestablish a place in society. Obviously, many questions remain. For example, what exactly does recovery look like? In a later chapter, we'll look at that together. For now, we can reiterate one point with certainty. The way we talk about the brain can have vivid, real-life consequences for actual lives, including how and whether people feel hope for a future that looks better, really better, than today.